Welcome to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. Joining me is Nathalie Walton, CEO of Expectful, to discuss the challenges Black female entrepreneurs face. Nathalie, it's great to have you with us. Welcome to Trade Talks.
Thank you so much for having me, Jill.
And Nathalie, let's discuss those challenges Black female entrepreneurs are uniquely faced with, and what can you do to overcome those challenges?
Yes, so when I came on to Expectful, or prior to coming on to Expectful, one of the things I knew that I would need to do to be successful was to fundraise. And to be frank, that was very daunting to me because only 0.6% of VC funding goes to Black and Latino women. And so I knew that I was facing an uphill battle. That being said, my experience in fundraising in 2020 would paint a different picture. So I joined Expectful in September. I spent the first several weeks coming up with a new vision for the company. And really within my first 100 days on the job, I was able to close a $4.2 million seed funding. And so I think that while historically Black entrepreneurs have faced certainly an uphill battle when it comes to VC fundraising, both my experience and the numbers would point that things are improving for Black entrepreneurs.
What should the venture capital space do better to support Black women?
Yes, so the venture capital space can support Black women more by investing in Black women. So my investors that have invested in me, they are doing the most to solve the inequities that the system faces. Furthermore, venture capitalists they can hire more diverse investors and promote diverse investors. And so in my conversations with VC funds, it was those funds that had the women investors and that had the investors of color that I saw that were making the most improvements in the space. And then the last thing that I would add is that VC funds can create scout and angel programs where they utilize an ecosystem of their diverse community to find founders like myself and invest in the ecosystem.
What was the process like going through a fundraising round during the COVID-19 pandemic?
Yes, so fortunately, I think that fundraising during a pandemic has opened up so many doors in ways that have never been opened up before. I had access to investors in London and in Hong Kong, and I could have those meetings all in one day. And even though I'm based in the San Francisco Bay Area, most of my investors are in New York, they are in Los Angeles, or in the Midwest. And that is access that would have previously not been available to me. Also, as a parent, I have a tremendous access. I have a one-year-old son, and I can't imagine flying around the country or the world to secure those investments. And so the pandemic has certainly opened those doors. The last thing that I would say that COVID-19 has done is in the last couple of years, we've really seen an emergence of funds that are targeted towards helping founders of color and female founders. So Harlem Capital is our lead investor. And once we signed a term sheet with them, we were really able to close our round within a couple of weeks. And funds like Harlem Capital are really doing a tremendous amount of work to improve the ecosystem.
I think that's a great point that you raised, Nathalie. I mean, the silver lining to the pandemic certainly has been technology, the accessibility it is lending for capital markets access. And the same thing in return, it's also helping to build more diverse workforces because you can, go to different geographies globally. And of course, diversity drives innovation. So with that said, tell us about Expectful. What was the genesis behind the company?
Yes, so Expectful is we're creating the go-to wellness resource for hopeful, expecting, and new parents. Expectful began as a meditation and sleep app, and when I came on, I brought my experience as a new mother, and so I had a son at the very beginning of the pandemic, and over the last year, I just saw all of the inequities that women faced, the hardship that women are going through, and mothers that are having to leave the workforce. And so I saw that the well-being of so many women is just being attacked right now. Our genesis for creating this bigger vision of Expectful is to solve those challenges. And so one of the things that we're doing is we're bringing in community. We've recently launched mother circles to connect new mothers with other new moms, since that connection is missing. And we're really trying to solve the inequities that COVID-19 has really brought out for mothers.
All right, we appreciate the insight. Thanks for joining us on Trade Talks, and thanks for joining me. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.